recruits, players want to hear about how are you good for me? Not what can your program do. Not what I can do for your program, but what can your program do for me? And then in the end, hopefully you're picking enough of the right people that then you can wind up building a team on the back end of it. It's almost like flipped on its head. And so what they used to do now, what they used to be able to do back in the 90s, the way Bill used to be able to coach us back in the 90s, probably doesn't go over very well now. And quite honestly, I think that's a little bit something that really, for me, has robbed the game of maybe some of its consistency, because I just don't know if players are held to the same kind of standard or if there's the same kind of accountability that is enforced the same way it was back then. Back then, look, I mean, Woody's sitting here talking about, you know, we all can talk about these stories. I'll just give you a story about how it was never good enough for Bill. It was never good enough for Nick. And I've told this story to you guys before. In 1994, that season we had in Cleveland where we went to the playoffs and we played the Patriots, then played the Steelers in the playoff game. In the wild card game, I wound up starting that game, had about 10 tackles and interception, and I'm thinking I'm going to win the player of the game when you go into the team meeting the next day, on Monday. And when I stand up, when Bill's about to announce the defensive player of the game, and he tosses a ball to you in the auditorium, he tosses it to my buddy at safety, Eric Turner. And I'm crushed. I'm sitting there going, you know, like, damn, what do I have to do to win the game ball? Eric Turner gives me the game ball and says, no, Lewis deserves this game ball. And Bill kind of looks at him, and he looks back at me, and he goes, okay, fine. Lewis, you got it. And, you know, and just like that. So then the meeting's breaking up. I'm walking down the steps to walk out of the meeting room, and he grabs me by the arm, and he looks me dead in the eyes and goes, it doesn't matter. What are you going to do next week? That's it. That's all he said, and he turned and walked away. So you knew, like, it was always about, hey, look, he did not rest on his laurels. He didn't care about what happened in the past. It was always about, what are you going to do next? What are you going to do to raise the standard? And I just don't know if people want to be held to that level of accountability anymore. I don't know if people are willing to, like, deal with that kind of in-your-face, bottom-line, production-oriented type of process. Because it was hardcore then. I had many sleepless nights in Cleveland during the week. What mistakes you make during practice. You were scared to come to the team meeting the next day off a mistake you made in practice, let alone the games. And see, that level of accountability, I don't know if people can handle that now, but that's how it was then, and that's what launched this dynastic run that both of these guys went on. Because it never changed, man. That's how you win 6 Super Bowls, 7 national titles, playing 9 Super Bowls. People want greatness, but they aren't willing to make the sacrifices in order to achieve it. These two were willing to make whatever sacrifice was necessary, and if you weren't willing to make it, you were gone.